Senator Henderson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I rise in full support of this resolution. I recently went to Washington, D.C. and went on a private tour of the Library of Congress and was struck by the beauty and the grandeur of that building, probably one of the most beautiful buildings I've been in Washington, D.C. It's not the Capitol. I think it's far prettier than the Capitol even. But I noticed the artwork around the Library of Congress, lots of statues, lots of paintings and portraits and of wonderful people, Moses and Plato and Isaac Newton, and all of these great men were represented, and there were lots and lots of statues of women and paintings of women too. But what struck me was every single painting or statue of a woman was not of a real actual woman, but they were allegorical. They represented art or religion or justice or freedom or liberty. There were no real women represented. And I started to look around Washington for evidence that we have had great women in our country, and that evidence is hard to come by. Doesn't mean that it didn't happen. It's just not represented very well. And we have an opportunity here during a momentous occasion, the celebration not only of the 100th anniversary of the 19th Amendment that gave women across the nation the right to vote, but the 150th anniversary of women's suffrage in the state of Utah, which is something I'm terribly proud of, and I think something that a lot of people don't realize, that Utah women had the right to vote 50 years before the 19th Amendment was ratified. And not only that, but we have elected the very first female state senator in the nation. We have these two great firsts and this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to recognize this. And Martha is a real woman, a real person, but she's also like the other statues of women that I saw around Washington, D.C., she also represents an ideal. She represents the idea that all of us are equal and that women's voices have elevated life in the United States. Our ability to have a vote, to have a legal voice, those are things that Martha fought for, and others like her, men and women, who locked arms and joined forces and stood together to make sure that we here in the state of Utah had that right and had it early. And really, our women were the first in the nation to cast a ballot. We were the first to vote. I think that honoring her honors all of us. It's nothing against Philo. Philo's a great guy. But we can't exactly bring Brigham Young home. And we get two statues. We get two statues. And every 10 years, and the rule is you have to have a statue there for at least 10 years. And Philo's been there for almost 30. We're not trying to say this person is better than that person, or these accomplishments are better than those accomplishments. That's not the point. The point is we have a lot of people from the state of Utah who deserve recognition. And maybe in 10 or 11 years, we'll be having this discussion again about who to replace next. But for now, we have an opportunity in 2020 to celebrate the centennial and the sesquicentennial. It's a big deal, and it is something that I'm very proud of. Martha Hughes Cannon, her shoulders are those that we stand on. We stand squarely on her shoulders. Those of us in this room, the female senators in this room, and those who came before us and those who come after, hers are the shoulders we stand upon. And every woman in the state, past, present, future, has been blessed by her and her efforts. And I think that we do ourselves a disservice when we say we're politicizing this. We're not. These are facts. And there's something that should be revered and honored. It's something that I am very proud of, and I wholeheartedly support this measure and encourage my fellow senators to vote yes on this bill.